Welcome, everyone, to Mastermind Seminars Live. We would like to welcome those who are in our location here today, as well as all those who are participating via video streaming at our satellite locations all around the world. We'll be introducing our event today and then turning it over to the very capable hands of some amazing presenters who have graciously given of their time and their amazing talents to share their insights into things which will change our lives as well as our businesses. The main question we want you to ask yourself is, why am I here? Is that a valid question to ask? Yeah. Why am I here? Maybe it's making money. Maybe it's saving more time. Maybe it's addressing my biggest challenge. Maybe it's working on my life vision. Whatever it is, we are here to help you do it. And the way it's going to happen is that you're going to get excited and you'll have the great temptation to do absolutely nothing about it because you are going to feel fantastic when you leave. You really will. I guarantee it. The way it's going to turn into money for you, and the question you have to ask yourself is, how can I turn what I learned today into money for me and my business? Well, it's going to be mind-numbing discipline in two key areas, in only two. One is intellectual, showing up or being on the live stream absolutely every single month. Once a month, that's it. Once a month, and then the implementation or the application is once a week. We have mastermind groups that meet on the phone in 30-minute segments that will absolutely change your life. Or meet live with the Coffee Connection weekly, and you have to have at least two buddies, two partners from today who participate with you today where you hold one another accountable. You have to do it. You have to do both to make it happen, to achieve what you set out today to achieve. To ensure each participant has rock-solid follow-through, we have a system for that. Go to www.mastermind-seminars.org/register. That's www.mastermind-seminars.org/register, and we will assist you in having strong follow-through with what you learn. Does everyone have what we call the fourfold? The fourfold has 14 different panels which you will be able to visually see and take home with you. On panel 6, please write down your biggest challenge, and then as you work through today, write down any ideas you have for solutions. Do not leave here today without having very specific solutions you will commit to do over the next 30 days with at least two other buddies from today's event. So, the topic today, and we have 12 topics every single year, panel 5 on the fourfold, are the same topics each and every year. Your MC or host will share with you the specific topic for today. With each topic, each month, at this event, we have 7 segments. Segment 1 is speed networking, which will be done at each individual location. You'll share your name, your company, your organization, what you would like to accomplish today, your biggest challenge, and your elevator speech. Everyone will break up into groups of 4 individuals, and each person will have 3 minutes to share these 5 things with others in the group. Once everyone has shared, then you will form new groups and do the same thing again. You keep doing this until your MC or host shares it's time to do something else. Segment 2 will be wins and biggest challenges, which is panel 6 on the fourfold. And the MC or host for each location will take 10 minutes to have local groups share their wins from last month's event and or your biggest challenges. Segments 3, 4, and 5 are the 3 elements to the BOS, the Business Operating System, which is panel 7, 8, and 9 of the fourfold. The BOS, Business Operating System, is the engine that runs our business. We earn the money we earn, work the hours we work, we have the stress we do or do not have due to our BOS. And the first element to our BOS, our engine, is the DNA for people, or personality masteries. The second segment is DNA for business, and the third segment is DNA for life. Segment 3, panel 10 on the fourfold, the DNA for people, is personality masteries. We can learn how to identify someone's personality in 15 seconds. And once we know someone's personality, we know their strengths, their weaknesses, what they like, don't like, why they will or won't work with us. We even know if they are married, probably the type of person they're married to, the strengths and weaknesses within their marriage. Yeah, pretty much amazing stuff. Imagine having a system that is so powerful that it will help you increase the leads your business receives, help you convert more leads faster, and obtain more referrals. In segment 4, panel 11 on the fourfold, the DNA for business, this is what we call the 530 grid. There are 5 areas in one's businesses. Area 1, marketing. How do we generate more and better leads? Area 2, pre-sales. How do we convert more leads to clients? Area 3, the sale. How do we convert leads faster? Area 4, servicing. How do we service our clients in the most amazing way where they refer everyone they know to us? And Area 5, client for life, where our clients become our partners and we start to work with all the spheres of influence they are connected with. In segment 5, panel 12 on the fourfold, the DNA for life. This is natural laws. Natural laws govern all that we do. In many ways, it's the hardest of the 3 DNAs to teach, to learn. There are over 500 natural laws which govern our business, our income, and really every area of life. One of those natural laws is the cluster principle. The cluster principle states that it's not unusual that someone making a buying or selling decision will know between 3 and 9 other people over the next 6 to 12 months who are making a similar buying decision as our prospect or client. Imagine what would happen with our business if we had every prospect referring us 2 or 3 or even more additional prospects. Yes, our businesses would double each and every year, and that's just one of the over 500 natural laws applied through our BOS, our engine. Again, BOS consists of DNA for people, DNA for business, and DNA for life. And it's the engine that runs our business, organization, and depending on how good it is, all the money we're going to earn, the time we're going to have, the stress and the life balance you're going to have or don't have. Segment 6 is Q&A, and that can be done either at your local level or it can be done through the video stream. That's up to your local MC or host because we're going to hit you with a lot of information today, and I hope you're ready, but this will give you a little opportunity to do decompressing. In segment 7, great things are going to happen next month, and we'll all come back together again as we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. So absolutely everything we do today will be focused on the topic for the month, which will be shared with you in just a minute. Are we clear? Do we understand what we will be accomplishing today, or at least a big picture perspective?
What? Like, you're probably pumped up, motivated, inspired, and saying, my gracious, I've never been to anything like this before. Like, this is going to change my life, my business, my relationships, everything, and it's true. It's going to. And so if it seems like we're going over a lot of information in a short period of time, the reason it seems that way, well, it's because we are. And so don't worry about that, because the person who invited you to participate in today's session, connect with them. And so there's so much. It's like you're going to drink, I feel like you're drinking out of a fire hose as we go through the business operating system. So all of you out there today, be ready to engage. Like, this is not, don't sit back and work on your email. Don't go ahead and surf the internet. Pay attention really, really close. If you're participating live, you can either do the live stream or you can go through and go to www.ravingfan.net if you're in the live. You can do that, and you can see that right there online, and so that's going to be exciting. So let me ask you all a question, if I could. How many of us have been through some type of seminar, workshop, and we've been motivated and inspired, but we haven't followed through? Can I see your hands? No. You're here with me. Like, some people refer to me as the wizard, and so I can see that you're not participating. So you're there by your computer. You're maybe in the car. You're on the phone. You have to raise your hand. So how many of us, once again, have been to some type of seminar, workshop, and we've gotten motivated and inspired, but we haven't followed through? Can I see your hands? Right? All of us, we've been through. See, this is different. because this is part of the Action Workshop series where it's designed not to just go ahead and get pumped up and, motivated and inspired, but it's to actually follow through. Like, we need to do something pre-event and something post-event. There's an amazing event coming up in Chicago and here in October that you definitely want to participate. There's another one in Maryland. I believe it's going to be in November. And you can go to www.mastermindseminars.org. That's www.mastermind-seminars.org. And you can see all the different events. There's lots of great things that you're able to do. Now, if you're a first-time guest here, welcome. It's a little insane, so we just want to, be honest and direct with you on that. It will go ahead and be a little overwhelming the first time. So participate a couple months, and when you really get involved, you're going to be like, there is so much depth. If you think I've been through this before, you haven't. Trust me, you've never experienced anything like this in your life. If you haven't had your complimentary 30-minute strategy session, you'll want to do that first and foremost. And so go to www.dnaforsuccess.com, go to examination, and then free 30-minute strategy session. Click on the 3-minute survey, or if you'd like a more comprehensive strategy session, click on the more advanced, the larger button at the bottom. It takes you longer. It's going to take you longer to fill it out, but well worth it for sure. There's no cost to you to go through and do that. That's through Legacy Partners and Life Masteries Institute. It's a gift to you. Again, go into that session expecting that your business, your life, your career, even your relationships will change forever, because it has for so many other people. So you want to take advantage of that and go through that. So let's dive in here. We've got a great topic that's in store for us today. And so there are 12 topics. There are 12 topics that we go through in Mastermind Seminars. And so this is our 5th year that we do. It's the 3rd Thursday of each month that we go through. And I'm trying to get it up on my screen here. Sorry, having a little challenges here. And so the topic that we're doing today is creating client for life relationships. So the first lesson is the value of installing systems. 1 to 10, how would you rate how much you understand the value of installing systems? Yeah, just write that down. Take notes on it. Oh, one other thing. I would encourage you to print out the workbook. So again, www.mastermind-seminars.org. And then you can go to live and then workbook and print that out, because that's going to help you. In an ideal world, you're actually like in the live events, like the ones that's in Chicago or Maryland or Reno, first part of next year. So they're all over the world. We just finished up one in Kosovo, looking at one in Australia. If you know anybody in Australia, let us know, because that's going to be a really fun one there. And so in the live events where you're meeting together and there are a bunch of amazing people that come together, the ideal is 12 weeks. Is a 12-week countdown, and you can actually see the 12-week countdown where it says join or start a group. And so 12-week countdown prior to, and then 12-week follow-up. Now for these 3rd Thursday ones, the virtual ones that you're sitting in right now, you want to have 4 weeks of prep and then 4 weeks of follow-up to the next one. See, because there's so much that's going to be shared today, it's going to just blow your mind. It's easy to get overwhelmed. It's easy to go ahead and say, oh, I need to be doing this. See, the biggest challenge to greatness is goodness. The biggest challenge to a great idea is a good idea. So you're going to hear a lot of good ideas, but we need community. We need to meet on a weekly basis through a mastermind and or a coffee connection group to help us to sort out what are the great ideas. Now, the overview here is going to be the first 30 minutes is going to be, networking, speed networking and going through. We're going to dive into that in just a moment here. And then segment 2 is for 10 minutes, and that's wins and biggest challenges. And then we get into the core of the 3 DNAs for the boss system. which you saw in the video and in prepping. So we're going to have a speaker, amazing speaker in segment 3, and then another one. And so Kevin's going to be doing segment 3, I believe. I'm going to be doing segment 4, and then Lee's going to be doing segment 5. Then we'll go into the Q&A. We miss Kevin King. Like, what a, just our prayers are with you, Kevin. Thank you so much for your years of service and being the MC. We care for you just a ton. And our prayers are with you that you would fully heal and be back with us very, very soon. If you'd like to be a speaker and or the MC, like Kevin and I both, we can do MC. If you'd like to do that and gain that skill, definitely let the individual know who invited you to participate. If you have any questions on that, connect with them first and foremost, or you can call toll-free 888-230-2300. That's 888-230-2300. Or if you're calling in outside the U.S., you can call the U.S.-based number 630-393-9909. That's 630-393-9909. And then we have Q&A and then great things for next week. Let's dive into the speed networking. And I want to share, I'd love if Nicole could share about your experience in the Indiana event that we're just coming off of, and how speed networking and how connecting with other individuals, what's that's doing for you personally and or Tanglewood Conservatories and or Untangled Mind. If you could just share the power of that, some of the things that are happening and some insights, I think people would benefit a lot from it.
Yeah, so my experience at the Indiana event was actually really eye-opening. I've been to several events before, and, I always understood the content, but I think this time with the people that were there, the people I met, and some of the networking we were able to do was really beneficial just to get me to see things from a different perspective. I think a lot of times what we run into is we get in this kind of like tunnel vision, and we're so focused on everything that it was a good experience to kind of see things differently, talk to people who think differently than you, and kind of get a perspective to help you move forward. And actually, with our event coming up in Maryland and with some of the connections that we have, we're trying to really reach out and build those connections so we can actually grow Untangled Minds, which recently started back in 2017.
Nice. And Lee, if somebody is like they don't have a mastermind seminar event in their area, so it's not local, why would you recommend that somebody just says yes and schedule that? It could be 6 months or a year. I think you scheduled it a good year in advance, if not longer. You'd never been to a mastermind seminar. You and I were talking after the 30-minute strategy session. I encouraged you to do it. You said it's done. Just boom. You just went based on blind faith. Lee, how were you able to do that? Let's go on blind faith. And then you did attend the Indiana event, maybe sharing some thoughts there.
Thanks. Yes. Well, I can't say it was totally blind faith. The gentleman, Ed Noel, who introduced me to you and the system, he used edification so skillfully that I was able to see the big picture and go, whoa, there's something amazing about this. And I was able to grasp the value of the system, the integrity of the system, and trust in that, and see how it fits into my vision of what I want to do, with my community, and build those relationships and help these business owners get to their next level. And so I thought, okay, this is definitely a system we need to plug into Reno. And I thought, well, I needed to get that on the calendar. And then because I did put it so far out, I was able to come to Indiana and experience it for myself. But even before then, I have been attending the monthly seminars like today as best as I can, and I love what I learn, and not only what I learn, but once I implement what I learn, like we talk about, it's action forward, just seeing incredible things happen within the system for my business, within the relationships that I build within the community, and seeing my revenue grow and doing it with less time and less stress.
Wow. And you started a Coffee Connection. How does Coffee Connection connect back into Mastermind Seminars, and how does Mastermind Seminars connect back into Coffee Connection?
They are interwoven beautifully. Coffee Connection allows me to bring together these amazing minds that come from their different industries, their different life experiences, their different personalities, and come together, and through collaboration and understanding that we can accomplish so much more together than we can on our own, and listening, and then providing, looking at a problem differently, and thereby providing solutions to people's biggest challenges. And then being able to tie that into Mastermind Seminar is, again, plugging into the system those 12 different topics that hit particular areas that will take us to that next level, which is usually what we want, need, or desire.
Wow. Neat. And just walk people through, if you could, if you're interested in starting a Coffee Connection, you can go to www.mycoffeeconnection.org. And then, each time the introduction, the first 10 minutes of every group around the world is the same, and then the last 3 minutes. Walk us through that, if you could, Lee. You actually helped develop, a good part of this. What is the process of going through and doing that, and why is it so important, Lee?
It's important to have some structure so that people understand what the expectation is, and then they can put that up against what's in it for them, and they can see the value, and they can do that quickly. So starting the Coffee Connection, we have the first 10 minutes, like you said, where we go over our purpose and how we achieve our purpose. And then we play a 1-minute video on the MVP, and that I try to tie that into my topic that I intend on sharing for that week, because we do meet weekly. And so it's just a 1-minute video, doesn't take a lot of time, but it makes its impact. And then we talk about how we can leverage that video through our networks to expand our network, expand our relationships, and maybe even reach that client that we haven't been able to fully connect with. It's a great connecting tool. And then from there, we move into the topic of discussion, and I usually do that about 5 to 7 minutes. Then if I have a large group, we break out into groups of 3 or 4 people, and we talk about our biggest challenge, and then everybody else chimes in on how they can see a solution or a different way of looking at it. We do talk about the difference between networking and masterminding, because networking, it's exchanging cards, and maybe you toss a card, or maybe you have a quick exchange, and it's like, I give you a fish, you give me a fish, and maybe we're happy in that moment. But really, mastermind is working together, truly collaborating, exchanging thoughts and different ways of thinking and different ways of seeing the problem, and thereby being able to come to a resolution. And it's fantastic. And when we build those relationships, what my goal with the mastermind is to build what I call profitable partnerships. And how can we make that the ultimate win-win situation, where we're both generating, through working together, generating revenue in both of our businesses, and doing it in a fun and exciting way. And then the last 3 minutes is absolutely important. I bring everybody back together, and I ask the group, did you find value in this hour? You were putting 1 hour in, and however many people are here, that's how many hours we're getting in return. And so maybe you put in 1 hour and you're getting 8 hours back. Where else can you make that happen? So amazing. And so many times they are saying, yes, they find value. And I say, that's fantastic. Now give me one word you would use to describe your experience today. And everybody shares that one word, and then I challenge them to send out an email with that one word in their subject line and share with their networks what they experienced today, what value they received, because they're thinking of that next person who could use that same value and benefit. And then we close the meeting, and I challenge them to bring in at least one new person the following week, and then we conclude.
Neat. Awesome. Cheryl, you're applying a lot of this in Tanglewood's recruiting system and building that, and how do you build culture into it? How do you attract the right people, develop the right people? Any thoughts, insights that you would have, Cheryl, on this, or maybe even questions?
Well, it's interesting to be able to craft different ads to attract the right people, and it's been challenging at times, but having your system in place has really helped me, find the right team member for here at Tanglewood.
Neat. Awesome. All right, let's see here. We've got just a couple minutes. Let's go ahead, and you'll see a lot in and through the Coffee Connection and Mastermind seminars about the MVP Network. And so that's the MVPnetwork.org. And they're an amazing group, a collaboration of people. And I don't know, Jonathan, are you able to share some of the things on your company and what you're doing and how video can help businesses, how the network is helping your own video production company? Are you in a position where you can share any of that? So he may not be, because he and his team are the ones that are behind the scenes and putting all of this together. And so he's working on being able to do that. In the MVPnetwork.org, if you go to starting point, step 1, and so what's the first conversation? So they have a few short questions. They have some really cool things based on personality and each of the different personalities and how to think differently. And then going through, and there's a free 1-minute video worksheet. And so a lot of mastermind seminars is about how do we clone ourselves as business owners? How do we gain more bandwidth from what we do? And so there's a lot of people, a lot of organizations, a lot of companies that do video. And they're all good. I mean, that's all good. It's not, technically, but those that are involved in the MVP network, Jonathan owns his own company. And so they own their own company. They get their own business on their own, but they also partner up within the MVP network. And they have to go through extensive training and certification to understand it's not just about the technical quality of the video. And you can look at, some of the libraries. So if you go to the success libraries, you can see a number of different examples that are really cool. There's actually an entire series on mastermind seminars, and they're all 1-minute videos. So they're really neat in being able to go through it. The other thing is, if you're looking at using technology and video, go to their case study library, and you can, again, share this with anybody in your network. Like, how cool is that? Like, how does, everything we're talking about, how do we go through and how do we connect business and community connections? Or how do we do, looking at social entrepreneurialism? Or there's an interview with the future president, of the United States. So there's a whole library of resources. They have their own mastermind group that they meet on a weekly basis as well. So many things going on in the network and around the network, and partnershiping and connecting together. Really critical. Hope to see you all in Chicago, and then Maryland, and then Reno, and all the other locations. So we've gone through segment 1. Now we want to move into segment 2. And so segment 2 is where we focus in on what are the wins and the biggest challenges. So what wins have you had, and what are your challenges that you're facing? And let's start off with Kevin Johnson. Kevin, you're doing co-leading of Ebony Entrepreneurs. And why are you involved in that, Kevin? Kind of what's your own personal life and business vision? And you're going to be one of the presenters today in segment 3. And why would you recommend, Kevin, that people participate in Ebony Entrepreneurs?
Well, personally, being a African American man and an entrepreneur, there's a lot of African American men that are entrepreneurs. However, they're doing it illegally. They're doing things that make them a lot of money. However, they're not, right. And it's very interesting. I happen to run into a guy who just got out of jail for selling drugs. And I was telling him, man, all the money you've made, why didn't you invest it in gold, real estate, stocks, just anything? You wouldn't have to work another day in your life. Oh, no, I wouldn't. I just blew it all at the strip club. I blew it all, on girls, just gold chains, whatever. It's like no future vision, just the here and the now. And it's like all that money, man, he just blew it all. And so he's trying to get back onto the straight and narrow, doing a real job, busting his butt, cleaning houses or moving furniture. And so it's like these guys got the skills, of how to be an entrepreneur.
Right.
Unfortunately, they end up in jail eventually or dead or whatever. And so getting these guys to, women, understand that there is another way, whether it be network marketing, internet marketing, start your own business, real estate, whatever. You make tons more money than you could ever do selling drugs.
Wow, neat. So share your vision about, you're on TV now and you're also have a vision to go ahead and have your own TV show?
Correct. I've been working in the television industry my whole life, either behind the camera, in front of the camera, most recently. And as we all know, there's a million cable channels, to choose from. There's an audience for everybody. Everybody seems to come up with their own show. And it's just, why not? I mean, everybody's life to me is a situation comedy, basically. If you really sat down and looked at your life and then look at what's on television, there's just a lot of similarities. That a lot of these shows are based on realistic situations, true stories. And so why not entertain the masses with your life so that they can be entertained and they can get away from for 30 minutes every Friday or whatever to escape and get a good laugh and then become hooked and then become one of your fans, tell their friends. I mean, it's a whole process that evolves, once you have influence to affect other people on a large scale. Television has the ability to do that.
Nice. Love it. All right. Nicole, any wins or challenges that you're facing?
I actually have a win. Over the past couple weeks, I've been learning to listen to learn, not listen to respond. I think that's been a huge challenge for me. That I'm always worried about what I'm going to say when someone asks me a question or when I'm talking to a client or a potential partner. I'm always listening to figure out, okay, what do I got to say next to make them, like me or to build a relationship. And, I've started to learn to listen to learn and not to respond. I think that's a big win for me.
Love it. Lee, how about you?
I have one and the same with my wins and challenges. One of the things that we did post the Indiana event is banded together to take on the secret about the 30-day challenge on the secret about time. And it was my third run through. And my challenge with it was, one, I was having email difficulties. I don't know if it was the server because of it so many emails going back and forth, it was overloading, and I was trying to stay consistent with it. And then the other challenge was over the weekend, I wasn't able to stay consistent because I went on a digital detox weekend. So I had no access to technology. And I thought, well, I'm just going to have to put a pause in the 30-day challenge and then pick up when I get back home. And so the win, of course, is learning those natural laws that tie into the 3-for-1 principle and the secret about time, and diving back into that discipline and really understanding and learning how to put in 1 hour and get 3 back. It's been a great win, and it's been great to do it with the group and holding each other accountable and cheering each other forward.
So in mycoffeeconnection.org, if somebody wanted to start a coffee connection or join a coffee connection, they go to discuss. Tell us a little bit about those the 4 lessons that are up here, the 4 recordings that are there, and why is that so powerful and helpful to getting a coffee connection started, Lee?
Sure. Like Mark says, with the discuss, you'll see the case studies, and there are currently 4 videos there. And it's important to start with the very first one, which says, are you one of those people? And it's a 7-minute segment followed by a Q&A segment. And it gives you an understanding of how the coffee connection works as a system and bringing people together and helping them to work through together on thinking differently. And the better that we can think differently, we'll find that we'll get there quickly to a different resolution and helping overcome our biggest challenge. And when we overcome our biggest challenge, we're able to take ourselves and our business and even our personal lives and relationships to the next level. And so digging deep, diving in, and taking these videos one step at a time can help solidify understanding what's in it for you and what action steps you need to take in putting that coffee connection together. And watch what happens to not only your business, but within your community. It's pretty powerful.
Neat. Another win that we had as a whole, network is, again, in mycoffeeconnection.org. So mycoffeeconnection.org. You go to free resources. There's a brand new section here, and it's the secret about time. So you can get this out to your entire network. So if you ask your entire network what their biggest challenge is, 1/3 of the people will come back with something about time. They don't have enough time, they're running out of time, and pretty much almost every biggest challenge, if you said to somebody, if you had more time, would that help you with your biggest challenge? People are going to say, yes, it would. And so my coffee connections have come together, the entire worldwide network, and have put together a free giveaway and need more time. And so people register. Again, there's no cost to this. And so you put your name, email, phone, biggest challenge, and then who you're referred by. And then there's 3 things that you get. So you get the secret about time and how to think about time in a very different way. And then you get 30 days of group coaching. Again, no cost for any one of these things. So all of these, it's like a gift package. And then a 30-minute strategy session that includes a personality assessment that connects back into it. And then you can also do an HTML flyer, get this out to your database PDF. Life Masteries Institute, they're a nonprofit organization, and Legacy Partners, they're the ones that provide all of this. And so it's just amazing. It was interesting out in Cincinnati where a gentleman came up at the end of Mastermind Seminars, and he said, I think he was talking to Jonathan, and he said, it's interesting because I kept waiting for somebody to sell me something. And I waited, and I waited, and I waited. And he's like it's something like I kept expecting. There's so much great content. They've got to be selling me something, and it never happened. And so the secret about time is one more resource that you can go ahead and tap into and then share with other people. As we help other people around us gain more time, that is beneficial, for them. That's good for us, win-win. As the tide rises, all the ships in the port rise together. So when we look at, in the video at the beginning, the boss system, the business operating system, the engine that runs our business. We earn the money we earn, work the hours we work, have the stress we do or don't have because of the engine in our business. So now is when we get into the core of it. And Kevin's going to be sharing with us about the DNA for people. So that's the personality masteries. And so that's the first segment here that we're going to go through. As it relates to how do you create client for life relationships. So Kevin, take it away.
Okay, Mark. As far as how it relates to client relationships, knowing your clients, how they think is critical to being able to get them to do what you want them to do. And so to me, when you know how your client thinks, it's a lot easier to understand them, and it's a lot easier to be able to get them to do what you want them to do. And so in order to do this, you need to ask them some questions. And what you want to ask them is, which of these shapes would you tend to like the most? A cube, a pyramid, a wavy line, or a ball? And then they're going to tell you which one that they tend to like the most. And so then you want to ask them, which of these four things cause you the most frustration in any area of your life? Being out of control, boring or not fun, having conflict with others, or just being out of control. So you want to ask them, well, why is it important, to want to know these things? It's important for us to personally, deeply understand our own personality as well as the personalities of others. For example, me personally, I prefer the wavy line as the shape that kind of identifies what I like the most. And so what causes me the most frustration is not having fun or doing something that's boring. That really frustrates me. And so I personally didn't realize, you tend to think, a lot of people, they just think like I think, but people don't think like you think. That's the critical key to all of this. When you're dealing with somebody that's analytical, I have dealt with students of mine. I taught students, people how to sell things and buy things on eBay. And I had a student, his name was Cal, and Cal was into flow charts and spreadsheets and systems and graphs. And I'm like, I don't have time for all that. It wasn't me. I didn't think like that. He thought systems, graphs, spreadsheets, step-by-step this. And it was like we were on two different mindsets, but it worked for him. And then when I realized that he was an analytical person, I had to actually talk to him differently so that he could understand me. Many times I would try to get him into another business, and unless he got the details, no way. He didn't even want to look at it. He didn't want to consider it. It was like, why, man? You can make you a ton of money. And unless I had facts and figures and proof, he didn't even want to hear it. So it's very important to know that these things can help you in business, to be able to communicate your ideas to other people in a way they can understand. Just getting them excited, telling them how much they're going to make, an analytical person does not want to hear it. He could care less. They're just like, that's Spanish to me, what you're talking about. I need facts, figures, data, history, whatever. And then they might join. But interesting, I did get him able to join another company with me. And if I think about it, what I had to do was introduce him to another analytical person like himself, a former engineer. He was a former engineer. And when they talked, it was magic. He was like, I'm in. And he's giving me all the details, facts, spreadsheets, data, history. And that's all it took.
Nice.
And so that's what you've got to learn how to communicate to these different people, or they will just turn you off in a hot minute. So in wrapping up, I just want to add that once we know an individual's personality, we know their strengths, their weaknesses, why they are successful, and what's holding them back from additional successes. Like, for example, if they're married, what type of individual they probably should be married to, and what strengths and weaknesses that are in the marriage. And so, have you ever had someone that you didn't like and you didn't know why? It happens to us all the time. So imagine having the knowledge and understanding which empowers you to have control over every situation where people are involved. Imagine having more fun with people and creating laughter, excitement, energy everywhere you went. How cool would that be? Imagine learning how to have more and better relationships in which you would enable you to see greater success in less time in every area of your life.
Wow, that was awesome. So, like, you're probably getting, a sense, a feel for this and saying, like in 10 minutes. I mean, Kevin was able to talk about how do you create client for life relationships based on DNA for people, the personalities, and you got this really cool, easy test. You can go to www.life-gps.org, and their Life Masteries Institute has a brand new mobile app that you can play around with. There's some really neat things. You can put your own videos in there, and so cool things that you can do on that. Lee, questions, thoughts, insights that you have? I know that you've taught on this in the past. Any additional suggestions or input that you would have, Lee, on creating client for life relationships as it relates to personalities?
I would just want to echo what Kevin has already shared, which was definitely awesome stuff. And that is, the better that we can understand people through their personalities, it helps us to speak in their language that they can easily hear and they can feel understood. And when people feel understood, it tends to make them trust you. They might even like you a little bit more. And when that happens, it behooves them to do business with you. And so the better that you can make that relationship through that understanding of their personality, the better it's not even a chance. It's just the word that comes out. But, the better your chances are that client's going to be with you for life. And but it really isn't about chance. It's really about using that skill and that personality mastery to make that happen. And it's worthwhile for the both of you.
Nice. Kevin, appreciate it. You did a great job on it. Very insightful. And look forward to, next month where we're going to be talking about leadership creating massive profits. So each of these 12 topics interconnect together in an exciting way. So awesome. All right, let's go ahead and move into segment 4. And so in segment 4, it's the 530 grid. So we've learned about the personality masteries, and now we're going to blend in the 530 grid. So, what is the 530 grid? There's 5 areas in every business, doesn't matter what business we're in. So we have area 1, which is marketing. How do we generate more and better leads? Area 2 is pre-sales. So once we get a lead, what do we do with it? Area 3 is the sale. That's the yes or the no. Area 4 is servicing. Once we get a client, how do we create such an amazing raving fan experience that they refer all their friends and family to us? And then area 5, which is client or relationships for life. So you'll say, well, wait a minute, client relationships for life. Isn't that our topic today? And absolutely, it is. So you'll notice it's pretty interesting. So in topic 1, it's the value of installing systems. So it helps us to understand the importance of it. And then topic 2 is generating more and better leads, which goes back to the 530 grid. And then topic 3 is area 2, and then it goes all the way through. So client or relationship for life. So if you haven't gone through the previous segments, you'll want to do that because they all build together. So in client or relationships for life, when you look at client relationships for life, there's 6 levels of proficiency. So the first level might be just, sending, monthly marketing newsletter. So keeping connected with them, touching them on a regular basis. In the DNA for Life, natural laws, one of those natural laws is the cluster principle. And so if we don't have the marketing systems, and Lee's going to talk more about the natural laws, but if we don't have the mechanisms, the tools, the machinery to be able to touch people on a consistent basis, we're going to lose track of them. And people tend to know between 3 and 9 other people that are looking at making the same type of decision. So what we do is we take our database here, identify targets, develop and deliver a message. We take that from marketing, and then we want to use that same system to touch them on a regular basis. Now, in level 2, the deeper we get into the 530 grid, the more complex the maneuvers are, let's say. So obtain B2C and B2B, and so business to business and business to consumer referrals. And never has this been more relevant than it is now with social media. The average person on the street knows roughly around 250 people. The average business owner knows over 5,500 people. And so when you look at that, it's like, wow. Like, write down all of the business people that you know, like every business owner that you know. And then multiply that number by 5,500 people. And so how do we get our clients to refer business to us? And so client or relationship for life, it's Tom Coons, my good friend, past president of Century 21. And go ahead and share about that, because that's an amazing project, maybe in the last section or two. But he says it's a second sales cycle. We've sold them on doing something. Client for life is we're going to do something beyond what we sold them on. We're going to give them something. We're going to follow up with them. We're going to do something more than what they're expecting. And in that, they're going to open up their entire network. Box 16, oh my gracious, amazing. Then we get into box 21, level 3, tracking all efforts and results. So when you look at the 530 grid, it can be broken up into the 6 different areas, can be broken up into really 3 major sections. So the first section here is really getting the car moving. The first 2 levels. Level 3 and 4 are measurements. So you'll see here where we have measuring, results, improving pressure points, which is measurements, asking questions, measurement. So we're tracking here a business if it's not profitable. We're going to go out of business. And so in level 3, it's looking at and saying, how can we make our business more profitable throughout the entire process, the entire 530 grid? Level 4 is going to be implementing R&D. Now, this is where it's like it gets so exciting. It's like it's amazing. It's like, wow. Because this is where our new product lines can come from ideas and connecting with past clients, and they say, I'd be interested in this service, or I'd be interested in this service, or I'd be interested in this product. And so this is where the ideas come from. They come from our past clients. But if we're not attentive, if we don't have a system in doing it, well, that's not going to do any good. And then in 5 and 6, in levels 5 and 6, this is a product for new process for new product development. So a lot of resources you'll find in. Let me get to that. So if you go to DNA for Life-Laws, so DNA for Life-Laws.com, there's free cool stuff. There's a white paper library, over 60 white papers. There's video, there's workbook, there's survey, there's the e-book library, there's Success Circle of 12, there's the 7 key life visions. My life vision, how do you discover it, and then how do we live it every day? The secret about time, need more time. I mean, think about when you look at the client relationship for life, how many of your clients really written down their life vision, like why they were put on this planet? Like you can offer that, and it doesn't take any time. You can automate it. And if they go into DNA for Success or DNAforLife-laws.com and then My Life Vision, there's an entire process in how to discover your life vision, like simple lessons. And then there's some case studies. Lee's actually done a case study on this herself and the importance of discovery of her life vision. What if imagine if we did that, provided that kind of service for all of our clients, and it doesn't cost them anything because it's through a nonprofit. It doesn't cost them anything. It doesn't cost us anything, and it doesn't take any time. We're going to come up with new products. We're going to come up with new services. If you go into the DNA for Life-Laws and then spreading your roots and then create passive income, how do you do that? There's actually 17 steps. And so if you click on the 17 steps, it walks you through the different phases in being able to go through. And how do we take our story and how do we share it with the world? How do we take our story and change the lives of other people? Story and actually turn it into money. Like 1 to 10, how much do you love what you're doing every single day? What if your clients were, you were to go ahead and help them in those areas? What would that be like? And then the fifth one is applying the five time management freedom fighters. So delegate, systematize, contract out, hire someone, or partner with someone, taking all of these things. See, when we take the 530 grid and we implement it, from 1 all the way to 30, we won't end up owning a job. We'll end up owning a company. And so it is magical, but it takes work. Like one of the things I love about the 17 steps and, creating passive income, there's, have you been approached about people, quick get rich quick type of things? Like it's easy. This is not easy. This is hard. It's actually harder to create passive income than it is active income where we're like the amount of thought that needs to go in, the planning, the discipline, the delayed gratification is huge. And so in that program, in being able to go through and creating it, it talks about how to do it. And this is where Kevin's involved with Ebony Entrepreneurs. There's also Business Sense from Everyday Moms, Business Cubed, buying into businesses, selling businesses, and then Discovery Learning. And you can get involved in these things and you can learn from each one of these things. So, as promised, we've gone through a lot of information in a short period of time, but you can see, I think, that creating client for life relationships, it's more than providing what we say. We have to be different than everybody else in the marketplace. All right, let's move into segment 5, DNA for Life, Natural Laws, and Lee, take it away.
Thanks, Mark. So you've already heard, we have personality mysteries. When we can better understand people, it helps us to build those clients for life because our businesses are built on building relationships. And the better our relationships, the better our clientele and the better our business is going to be. And when we can use a system like the 530 grid to implement the different steps where maybe we're falling a little bit short, we can step it up, tweak it a little bit, improve it, and again, fully develop those clients for life. So how do the natural laws come into play? Well, there's over 500 natural laws that have been discovered over the past 20 plus years. And so I'm not going to give you 500 in the next 10 minutes. That would be quite the feat. I'm just going to point out 3 that have really stood out for me in developing my clients for life. And one is bring more value than you are getting paid. Bring more value than you are getting paid. And I have just always appreciated those persons who have gone above and beyond when they put the little extra in whatever ordinary thing they might be doing. And I go, wow, those are extraordinary people. And they're making extraordinary things. And either I want to be like that or I want to have more of that. And so, when we're doing our business, when you're working with that client, can you deliver more value than what they're paying you? And what will that do for that relationship? And they'll keep coming back for more, right? The next natural law that I love has a little bit to do with time, but it really helps in building that relationship too. And it's called the 5 H's. And the first H is hope. The second H is head. The third H is heart. The fourth H is hands. And the last H is help. When we're building a relationship with people, we're providing hope that they, can get over whatever problem or issue they might be having, or what's going to get them to that next level, right? And then the head is expertise. And they go, oh, I can see that person can help me. I definitely want to tap into them. And the heart is the experience that we bring into that relationship and showing that we genuinely care. I care about you. You're not just a dollar sign to me. This relationship is important to me. And then the hands are the action steps. What's it going to take to keep that relationship going? Or what action do you need to take to really provide that greater value to that customer to, again, keep them as a client for life? And then help is not only helping your client, your customer, or your patient, or your guest. Help is also partnering up with other business owners that you can work with in collaboration. And so when you can put those 5 H's together, again, that's hope, head, heart, hands, and help, you can truly build a client for life. And the last one, that's one of my favorites, is the delayed action result principle. And that is, the things that we're doing, the success is not going to come overnight. It's going to take time. Did you ever see a plant a seed and wake up the next morning and have the whole harvest ready? No, it takes time for those things to happen. And we can even apply the personality masteries into that, where we're able to see this picture of long-term, short-term, past, present, and future. And so the analytic who might be in the past reviewing everything, the expressive who's in the present and being able to live in the moment, a driver who sees the big picture in the future and knows it's going to take time, but can see that bigger picture and see it happening. And then the amiable who can see how everything is moving forward. And so, having that balance between the short term and the long term, and understanding that things are not going to happen overnight. Again, knows that, when we shake somebody's hand and we make that eye contact, that doesn't instantly mean a client for life. It takes time to build that relationship. We have to invest time. We have to invest in asking questions, learning and understanding and developing that. And if I could just end with one of my favorite pieces in relation to that, it's having to do with the bamboo. In the bamboo, it starts like as a tiny seed that gets watered. And you water it consistently for a year, and you won't see anything. But something's definitely still happening. And you can do it for another year, and another year, and another year. And it takes 5 years before it peeks its head out. But it takes 5 years of consistent watering. And the moment it peeks its head out, watch out, because in just a matter of weeks, it will tower up 90 feet. Can you imagine your revenue, if you could picture piling the dollars, climbing 90 feet? What would that do for your business? That comes from developing that client for life of watering every single day. Would you be willing to do that for 5 years to see that happen? These natural laws, when you understand them and you can apply them, can make a huge impact in your personal life, in your personal development, in your relationships, and it can impact the rest of your life.
Wow. Like, I don't know. I just need to take a little bit of a little breather here. It's like when we said at the beginning that, you've never been through anything like this before. I mean, is that true? Like when we said, it seems like we're going over a lot of information in a short period of time. Does it seem that way? So I'd encourage, each one of us. Sometimes I think we make things complicated that are really simplify things that are complicated. I think it was Mark Twain that said, I'll give you nothing for simplicity this side of complexity, but I'll give you everything for simplicity the other side of complexity. So there's decades of work that has been invested into this, and Life Masteries Institute, Legacy Partners, they take this, and there's so many people that contribute to the intellectual property to help you. There's different ways that you can learn it, so you can be part of a mastermind seminars, and that's what we're learning here. You can go ahead and learn it through online courses. So if you go to DNA4Success.com, that's DNA4Success.com, and you can go to Solutions. First thing you do is do the 30-minute strategy session. And that's a level 1 and 2 examination, and there's no cost to do that. That's a gift to you. The next step is often going to be the business X-ray. It's a level 3 and level 4. There's a small investment for that. And then Solutions, there's a free video library. There's information on the boss. There's an entire online online university courses that you can go through. Some other resources are if you go to DNA4Success.com and then go to the steps at the bottom, just click one of the steps. 7 steps to being able to see, phenomenal success. So again, a lot of things, but if we, keep it simple, and so there's 3, when we look at, there are, in the BOSS system, there's 3 elements: DNA for people, DNA for business, DNA for life. So that's simple. Don't make that complicated. So it's people, business, and life. Within those 3 areas, there are 4 major personalities, as Kevin shared eloquently, and that applies to everything. Client for life, more leads, better leads, everything. I then had the privilege to go through the 5 areas: marketing, pre-sales, sales, servicing, and for life. The energies see and think and do. So are we seeing things that we often haven't seen before? Einstein said you can never solve a problem on the level it was created. What does that mean? It means that we need to learn to think differently. And so often, the thing that's holding us back is not somebody else. It's things. So we're going to be going into, this has just been awesome, we're going to be going into segment 6 here, Q&A. But before we do that, does anyone have any questions for Lee on the natural laws or thoughts? A great question is how do I find the 500 natural laws? And so if you go to DNAforlife-laws.com, that's DNAforlife-laws.com, and then go to free cool stuff, you can see the video library. So again, the white paper library, there's over 60 white papers. They're all free. Go through, find the topic, share it with other people. And then the video library, I think there's, 100 plus of the 500 laws that you can just go through. And they're 6-7 minutes long videos, most of them. So they're very short, very easy to be able to go through. All right.
I have one question.
Yeah.
Can you add to the laws if you come up with one?
Absolutely. So the best thing
how would
is,
you do that?
Yeah. Best thing is you go ahead and you go through and you discover a new law. So my oldest son, who owns his own company, he's married, he's out of Nashville now. When he was 9 years old, he came up to me and he says, Dad, I discovered a new natural law. And I'm like, that is so awesome, buddy. What's the natural law? He said, it's the domino principle. I said, wow. What's the domino principle? He's like, Dad, I'm not tracking with him. He's like, Dad, dominoes, when you stack them up and you knock one down, they all knock them. I'm like, yeah, I get that. And he's like, in life, Dad, if we make bad choices, it can ripple out. Like there can be, it can accumulate. At 9 years old. So natural laws. And so what they can do, you come up with a natural law, you practice it a lot, like a ton. And then you practice it on other people. You get it down to where you have it. And then you could do like a 3-minute video, 3 to 6 minute video. And you can submit it again to the individual who invited you to participate. Or you can go ahead and connect with Life Masteries Institute. And you submit that to be, what's the natural law? Study some of these others, how they're presented and those type of things. You can submit that natural law, and it goes through a review process. And if it's selected, then you get to have your natural law, your video on here. And it's really cool because then you're part of, international thought leaders, and you can, it's spread throughout the entire world. Great question. Other questions or thoughts? Okay. So let's take a look at the Q&A. So segment 6, what questions or thoughts would anyone have on anything that we've covered today, or maybe things we didn't cover today?
Well, I was curious, kind of back to setting up client for life relationships, dealing with larger databases. Do you have any tips for people who know they need to do that, but are struggling to find the time or resources to?
Yeah, great question. Love it. Lee, any thoughts that you have on that before I share some of my thoughts?
It's having an effective and efficient CRM is helpful so that you can develop a template and being able to send that to the masses, so to speak, all at once, and instead of individual emails is a great thought. And so if you can use something like the MVP video, so it's just a 1-minute video, and you can put it in a 1-word subject and really captivate your audience, and then just that 1-minute video can be a great tool for leveraging. Those are my thoughts.
Love it. Yeah, I would have not, that's awesome. So in the MVPnetwork.org, there's natural laws here that are 1 minute, and these are really high-end videos. So there is the secret about time, and so there's that one. There's thinking differently. Then there's the mastermind seminars, which are really cool, and then my action vision story, and then there's 7 steps to success, and then mastermind groups, and then other types. There's one on millennials, and Jill had one on as it relates to where she started to take her goals more serious. So it's taking other people and being able to do that. And so I totally agree with Lee. That's a great idea. One of the things, Elise, that I have found is EVAs, Executive Virtual Assistants. And over the years, I've owned my own company for 28 years, and I've traveled. I'm an international speaker and author, so I've been blessed to travel all around the world. And I've worked with I've had employees, and that's great. But often as business owners, we're not able to do that, or it doesn't work out so well for us. I've worked with virtual assistants, and there's a very big difference between a virtual assistant, a VA, and an EVA. An EVA is an executive virtual assistant. They are actually certified through Life Masteries Institute. And I think it's 86% of the people that enter into the program, don't make it through the program. We just had 2, there were just 2 individuals that, I need some more. Right now I'm contracting with, I think it's 11 EVA companies, and love them all. They're amazing. And I've got so many business opportunities right now that I need more EVAs. So if you're looking and say, I might be interested in the EVA program, 50 hours of training. You don't have to pay anything to go through it. You don't get paid to go through it, but you don't have to pay it. It's worth tens of thousands of dollars. I mean, I have 3 bachelor's degrees in business, and one in marketing, one in management, and one in finance. And they learn more in 50 hours than what I did with 3 bachelor's degrees. Seriously, it's an amazing thing. There were just two individuals that entered into the program, and they were nice individuals, smart. I mean, like they asked me if I'd be willing to talk to them. I did. I'm like, man, I'm so excited about them. They're going to be so amazing. But they didn't make it through the training. And so they go through, anyone that can make it through the training is like Navy SEALs. And so EVAs, what they're doing is I've contracted with EVAs to go ahead and do the marketing. I've contracted with EVAs to do pre-sales. I've contracted with EVAs to do the sale, the servicing, the client for life. Once you get these 5 areas in place, then you expand it out and you move into leadership. And so I actually have an EVA company that focuses in on leadership and building culture, not only within my company, but also within all the networks. And then what is the vision? You know, my vision, I'm clear on that, okay, but how do I help everybody else around me discover their life vision, and how do I integrate that life vision, my life vision into theirs into mine, to create mutual win-win? And so I have EVAs doing almost all of that, which gives me additional bandwidth. And then the belief and the knowledge. And so there's some people in, you know, that I'm working with, partnering with, could be partnering, it could be, you know, team members, and they're missing something. They don't have the knowledge base, or they might not even have the belief base. Well, I could go ahead and develop those people, but that's probably not the highest and best use of my time. And so when I went through the 30-day challenge, the secret about time, I went ahead and within 4 months, 3-4 months, I forget what it was, 3 or 4 months, I gained an extra 20 hours of free time a week. And I've had that extra 20 hours, you know, for over 8 years now. And I take off now 1 week every month. How am I able to do that? Well, if I was transferring all my knowledge base over, there's no way I'd have any extra time. So I have EVAs that are actually doing that, and then the EVAs do a ton of the doing. Like I'm doing less and less, they're doing more and more, which I love, and they love too, because that grows their business. It's a win-win. And then the give, and then the legacy. How do we create a legacy? And then the next is developing profitable partnerships. So do you have a system in place to create profitable partnerships? I was actually teaching this a few years back in mastermind seminars, and I was teaching it. And I'm like, I don't have that. And I didn't want to bring on any more employees, and I'm like, So I brought on an EVA, and the EVA designed and engineered an entire client for life program, and then they ran it, and they're still running it years later. And the thing that I think is what toughest for most smaller companies is we hire an employee, we get them up and going, get them trained, get them proficient, and then they leave for whatever reason. And then we have to do the whole thing all over again, and we don't even remember what was in place, and so we have to start over from scratch. With the EVAs, there's an entire network. So I've had EVAs that, you know, have decided that they're going to, you know, they have multiple business, and they've decided they're going to focus in on another business, which is fine, because there's always EVAs that go ahead and fill in the gap. I've had EVAs that have gotten pregnant, and it's like it's seamless, it's flawless. Like it's like, you know, I mean, they let me know they're pregnant, but I don't have to do anything. They have others that come in, and there's always, my business is always running. And so, Elise, I have found that EVAs are like a godsend to me. It's like I wish I would have had these 28 years ago in business. It would have just made my business and my life, you know, a lot easier. So hopefully that helps. Anyone else have any other questions or thoughts on anything from today's session? We all filled up? We all good? Okay. One other thing that Life Masteries Institute has had me courses. So what I do is it's really cool because I have a lot of intellectual property. So a ton. Like if you look at the screens, that's like 1/10 of it. And so there's a ton of intellectual property that I have been blessed with. I've written 16 books, written probably, I don't know, over 100 white papers, just a ton. And I just honestly don't want to take the time and the energy. I have the knowledge, but I don't want to take the time and energy to develop out my own intellectual property. So I partner up with Life Masteries Institute. 25% comes to me of the intellectual property that I deliver. If I sell it, then I get 50%. So if I create it, and then if I sell it, I get 50%. If I go ahead and sell somebody else's intellectual property, I get 25%. If somebody else sells mine, they get 25%. 25% goes to putting it all together. The EVAs, they actually contract to do a lot of the work, and so there's no way that, the cost of that would be huge. And then 25% goes to Life Masteries Institute, the great causes that they support, and the networks and building the networks and building the entire distribution channels. So I don't have to do that. So Life Masteries been bugging me. For me, I give back the 25 or 50% back to Life Masteries because I have multiple income revenue streams, so I don't need it. Earlier in my career, I needed it, so I took that, but now, I'm not in the need of that. And so now I just give it all back because it's helping to further my life vision. They've been asking me to do Box 8, presenting the solutions. And so I talked to a good friend of mine, Tom Kuntz, past president of Century 21, largest real estate franchise in the world, over 140,000 agents in over 70 different countries. He's done a number of lessons, online courses. And then a new friend of mine was introduced by Tanglewood Conservatories. They build $1 million conservatories all over the world. One of their board members was Peter Miles. He's a past president of BMW. And so what we're going to do is we're going to do a 7-week course titled Leverage, the Magical Arts of Positive Motivation and Manipulation. And so I'll just give you guys a sneak, preview of this. And so it's the magical arts of positive motivation and manipulation. And when it first started out, it was totally for salespeople, but now it's for everybody. And so, it seems like it's a sales course, but it's really helping us all learn how to sell our life vision, our talents. So every single person in the world can go through it. So who should take the course? Obviously, C-level people, in helping people learn how to solve their own problems. Leaders asking questions to help those we lead to leverage success. Sales managers, sales professionals, managers in general, team members, employees, and really when you think about it, the course for people and for students. They don't, the things that we need to learn, like this in college, because this creates success in being able to go through it. And so this is some of the things that we're going to be covering in that. It looks like, based on research, based on what we've got, it's a $12.5 million project. And half of that is going to go, a quarter of that's going to go to promoting the course and getting it out to, all over the world. A quarter of that's going to great causes. A quarter of it could be going to you. So take a quarter of $12.5 million. Would you be interested in that? So a quarter of it could go to you. And then a quarter of it's going to go to Tom and Peter and myself. So each of us get 8.3% of that in being able to go through that. And so it's really exciting to be able to raise millions of dollars, to be able to, make money, to be able to impact people's lives in a really, fun and exciting way. So that's something that you'll want to keep an eye out for sure. You don't have to develop. Like it took me over a year just to connect with Tom. Peter, I for almost 15 years probably. And so these networks, you don't have to develop the knowledge base. You don't have to go through and do the decades. You don't have to spend the millions of dollars that all three of us have, in learning these things. And you can actually earn 3 times more on the course than the three of us. We're okay with that. Because as we help you make more money, we're going to make more money. As we make more money, you make more money. Together, we truly can accomplish so much more than we ever could on our own. So great things to come next month. And so if you go to mastermind-seminars.org, you can see on the top here where you can register for the next month's event. And there's some new things that we're going to be doing that are going to help you to get more out of the event and to invite other people and actually turn it into a revenue stream. So you can actually make money by attending this event each month. Then we've got the Chicago event coming up next. And then we've got the Maryland event coming up after that. If you want to see future and past events, you can click on that and being able to go through that, and you can see, the different past events that we've had. You can see the next events that are coming up and being able to do that. And if your city is not in here, get it in here. Do like Lee did and schedule that thing out. Kevin's, he's getting geared up to go ahead and get one scheduled for his area as well. You want to get one scheduled. If you schedule it, 6 months to a year, especially a year out, so much that you can do, and it doesn't actually take a lot of time. If you go ahead and spend a half an hour, like we have 1,440 minutes in a week or in a day, we have 10,080 minutes in a week. And so all you have to do is do 30 minutes once a week on a call, and you're going to be able to start putting this together and start leveraging everything else. All right, Kevin, any closing words or thoughts that you have?
Yes, I just wanted to say that fantastic call. Really got a lot out of it, and that, of course, I really believe that you have a second career in comedy as a stand-up comic. Myself,
and why would you say that? Why would you say that, Kevin?
Because I'm a former talent scout at QVC Network. I used to be one of the people that decided who would go on the air on that channel back in the 80s when they first started.
Wow.
And I would sit in a room, people would say, audition. And we would literally, this is all you had to do to get on QVC Network when they first started. Sit down on this chair, we got a camera here, sell me this number 2 pencil. Camera's on, go ahead, do it. And that's it. If you could sell the pencil to us through the camera, you got the job.
Wow.
We'd have professionals, we'd have people that had 90 years of experience on television, anchorman, they couldn't do it. We got these natural, gifted, regular Joe's people, mom, pop, effortlessly, just like, wow, that was beautiful. You got the job. A simple thing as selling a number 2 pencil. That was it. And I know talent. I've been in this business so long that you can just tell who's got it and who doesn't. And I looked at your video. This guy's a natural. I mean, he's got the look of a comedian. I mean, people, what he's saying is funny, but then just to look at it and say, like, gosh, it's just a perfect match. And then what you're saying is so hilarious, people will just with the social autism, the horse, the wife, the 7 children, the stories, it's just like, come on. What are you waiting for, man? Go to Second City in Chicago or whatever. I think that's where they do the stand-up there. But
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I look forward to that. That's going to be a lot of fun. Lee, any final thoughts or insights that you have?
I just want to say thanks for having me. It was great to share in it, and it was great to just take a moment to look inside my heart and go, what really speaks to me? What natural laws do I use in my daily life? And I hope that what I shared was impactful for the people who were listening and watching.
Nice. Very good. And check out, that life-gps.org site. That's just amazing, and the impact and how fun it is. And always remember, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. God bless. Have an amazing day. And watch this short video in closing. You're going to enjoy it a lot. Bye-bye.
Wow. So what did you think? Did you feel like you're drinking out of a fire hose? A lot of information in a very short period of time. We get it. Don't worry if you don't pick it all up the first time, because each month you'll come back, you'll pick up more and more each and every month. The more we pick up and apply, the more money we'll earn as a result of attending this event, and the more time we'll have, the less stress we'll have, and the greater life balance we'll have in every area of life we value. Often people ask, what's next? Great question. Did you register yet that you attended? If not, do that immediately at www.mastermind-seminars.org/register. That's www.mastermind-seminars.org/register. And we will assist you in having strong follow-through with what you learn. There are some amazing follow-up resources that we will get over. There is no charge for any of these resources. Okay, so you've registered. Now what? If you haven't already done your complimentary 30-minute gift coaching session, then that is the place to start. Go to www.dnaforsuccess.com. Go to the top drop-down, examination, and then free 30-minute strategy session. Click on that. It will literally take you 3 minutes to complete that, and then someone from Legacy Partners and Mastermind Seminars will call you and give you your 30-minute strategy session. Again, there's no cost. It's a gift from every one of us to you. Go into that 30-minute strategy session expecting that your business and life will be changed forever, because it has so for so many people. Again, go to www.dnaforsuccess.com, go to the top drop-down examination, and then free 30-minute strategy session. Once you complete that, there are so many different possible solutions to assist you in overcoming the biggest challenge you're currently facing, and how to help you develop your very own BOS, the engine which runs your business. There are weekly live mastermind calls, coffee connections you can attend at no cost. There are online courses, group coaching, media solutions, and even one-on-one coaching which can be provided to you depending on your specific needs and overall goals. Please do not leave today without committing to meeting with at least 2 other people, either over coffee or over the phone, at a minimum once a week, to follow through on all the amazing information, ideas, tools, systems, and great people, both locally and then around the world, through Mastermind Seminars and Legacy Partners. One side note, because there is no charge to attend, participate, and gain massive benefit from Mastermind Seminars, individuals often wonder, how do these amazing events are funded? Well, they are actually funded by generous individuals just like you who give financially weekly through Coffee Connection contributions or monthly through Mastermind Seminars. Your generous contribution to Life Masteries Institute, which is an IRS-approved 501c3 nonprofit organization, not only enables the events, tools, and networks to be developed and given to you and others, but also a portion of your gift goes to many great causes. When we give generously in a financial way, we gain financially as well. No gift is too small. Even giving $5 a week or even a month will make a big difference. To give, go to www.mastermind-seminars.org/pay-it-forward. That's www.mastermind-seminars.org/pay-it-forward. Here is what others have found. In just getting started with my company, I didn't feel I could give anything. Even $5 a month was a sacrifice. I decided to do that, and as soon as I started to give financially, I became more focused on turning what I was learning into financial gain for me personally, and it worked. I'm now contributing a little more and will continue to increase my giving as my business and income grows. Adam, a new entrepreneur. We have given over $45,000 because we know it's the right thing to do. Yes, we do give of our personal and company resources, time and talents, but we also know how important it is to give financially as well. We have found that when we give financially, we become more focused on turning our involvement into sales and financial success. It seems that those who do not give financially, they often do not gain financial benefit. The entire Mastermind seminar experience has done more for building a successful culture through our entire company than hundreds of thousands of dollars in consultants, seminars, and workshops. We've accomplished more in a couple of years than the 20 plus years prior. Any individual, any company, any organization which does buy in and get their entire company involved is, how do I best say it, missing out on a chance of a lifetime. Alan Stein and Nancy Virts, owners, www.tanglewoodconservatories.com. I give financially weekly, and my business has more than doubled. Ginger Ann Collins, owner EVA, executive virtual assistant, and executive coach. www.dnaforsuccess.com/implementation/E-VAS. The more I give financially, the more I receive financially. Ann Wayman, dream giver, ghostwriter, www.annwayman.com. I was looking for additional income streams, and by giving financially, it's opened so many doors for me. So many opportunities become available when we are financially generous. Ed Noel, mortgage professional, owner, leadership, and team building coach. It was really tough for us to give anything, as we had invested so much into our business. But we decided to start out with $25 a month. We didn't think of it as a very big gift, but the truth is, it was a lot for us when we started. And the doors that financial gift has opened for us are huge. We will be giving a portion of what we generate in our business back to Life Masteries Institute and pay it forward to help others around the world gain financial freedom. Steve and Avalinda Casey, owner, real estate investing, speaker, and author. Being a part of Mastermind seminars over the last 3 years has changed the way I think about every area of life. When we give financially, we not only support what is given to us, but we assist others in our community and around the world. Be generous. Kevin King, helping people save money on health insurance. My business has benefited so much from the Mastermind seminars and coffee connections. It's the right thing to give back weekly financially. Jonathan Sparrow, owner, web technology, www.themvpnetwork.org. If you have any questions, thoughts, or ideas from today, please connect with the individual who invited you to attend or your MC, host, or you can even call toll-free 888-230-2300. That's 888-230-2300, or the U.S. base number is 630-393-9909. That's 630-393-9909. Always remember, we can accomplish far more together than we ever could on our own. So think of 3 other individuals you believe would benefit from what we shared and invite them to your Mastermind conference call, coffee connection, and next month's Mastermind seminar event. Have an amazing day and life.